The $100 million the ALS Association raised will outlive the Ice Bucket Challenge and hopefully do some good. But as the Ice Bucket Challenge winds down, every Tom, Dick, and Harry with a more worthy cause has come out of the woodwork. What about cancer? What about Gaza? What about corrupt corporations? You know what? It's great that you're concerned about that, but are you really? What are you actually doing about it besides complaining? Organize your own campaign if that's what concerns you. And you know what? If you do contribute in some meaningful way, then good for you. Telling people about worthy causes is a good thing, but what's wrong with telling people that cause number 2 is more worthy than cause number 1, and therefore money would be better spent if donations went to the more worthy cause? What's wrong with that? Well, let's examine that kind of logic and force it to be consistent and then see if it holds up. Immanuel Kant was one of the most influential philosophers of modern philosophy. And it's from him that we gained the concept of universalization, also known as the Kantian principle. And what it basically says is that a particular principle or act can only be considered morally permissible if you're willing for everybody else in the world to do that same act or use that same principle. Now, are you willing to do that in this instance? Let's call this principle X. We should give our money to the more worthy cause where it will be better spent. This is common sense, but as I've said before, intuition is notoriously wrong all the time. Common sense isn't necessarily right sense. So, let's apply the Kantian principle to the idea that we should give money to the more worthy cause. Cause number 2 is more worthy than cause number 1. According to principle X, we should give our money to cause number 2. Because if even $1 was taken from cause 2 and given to cause 1, there would be waste because that dollar would have been better spent on cause number 2. So here we've established a reason consistent with the logic of principle X to only give money to cause 2. But the world doesn't have just 2 causes. Cause number 3 is more worthy than cause number 2. So now we have to reapply the principle. This causes a chain reaction. People have to keep diverting their money to the more worthy cause until at last we've reached the most worthy cause. Call it cause number 10,000. At this point, all of our money would only be given to the most worthy cause, leaving every other cause to be abandoned. This is being consistent with principle X's logic of only giving to the more worthy cause, and against our intuition, it would actually result in a hugely negative outcome, because the problem of neglecting all other causes would severely outweigh the problem of the most worthy cause. Principle X, we should give our money to the more worthy cause, is not universifiable, and it's not even something most people can say without being hypocritical. So, against our intuition, we should actually give money to causes that don't necessarily do the most good. In a perfectly balanced world, each cause would get a perfectly proportional response, but we don't live in a perfectly balanced world. Our responses are not proportional, and most people aren't even qualified to say what would be a proportional response to the various causes in this world. So I say, give to the causes you're passionate about, concentrate on where you think you'll make a positive difference, and before you try to take money from one cause so that it can be given to your cause, remember that you're giving some other cause a reason to do the exact same to you. Take care, everybody.